Kusadasi is a large resort town on Turkey's Aegean coast and the center of the seaside district of the same name within Aydin province. Kusadasi is 95 kilometers or 59 miles south of Izmir and about 60 kilometers or 37 miles from Aydin. The municipality's primary industry is tourism. The city is situated along a gulf of the same name in the Aegean. The island of Gaversinada, or Pichon Island, is connected to mainland Kusadasi by a man-made causeway and is situated adjacent to the large hill of Kusadasi near the center of town. It is located 95 kilometers south of Izmir, the area's metropolitan center, and approximately 60 to 70 kilometers in driving distance from the provincial seat of Aydin, depending on the route taken. Are Seljuk to the north, German Sikh to the northeast, and so to the east and south. The name Kusadasi comes from the Turkish words kus, or bird, and ada, which means island, as the island has the shape of a bird's head when seen from the sea. It caters to tourists arriving by land or from the port for cruise ship passengers heading to Ephesus. In a controversial deal in 2003, the previously public-owned port was leased to a private company and renovated to attract luxury cruise liners. The House of the Virgin Mary, or Mother Mary's House, is a Catholic shrine located on Mount Koros, or the Mount Nightingale, in the vicinity of Ephesus, 7 kilometers from Seljuk in Turkey. The house was discovered in the 19th century by following the descriptions and the reported visions of Blessed Anne Catherine Emmerich. From 1774 to 1824, a Roman Catholic nun and visionary, which were published as a book by Clemens Brentano after her death. The Catholic Church has never pronounced in favor or against the authenticity of the house. It nevertheless has maintained a steady flow of pilgrimage since its discovery. Anne Catherine Emmerich was beatified by Pope John Paul II on October 3, 2004. Catholic pilgrims visit the house based on the belief that Mary, the mother of Jesus, was taken to this stone house by Saint John and lived there for the remainder of her earthly life. The shrine has merited several papal apostolic blessings and visits from several popes, including John Paul II and Benedict XVI. On the way to the shrine, visitors pass a keyhole-shaped baptismal pool, larger than the one located at the Basilica in Ephesus. It is thought that an early community of Christians may have lived or were baptized here in seclusion in order to escape the nearby Romans. The shrine itself is not extensively large, but may rather be described as a modest chapel. The preserved stones and construction date back into the Apostolic Age as consistent with other preserved buildings from that time, but with minor additions such as garden landscapes and devotional additions outside the shrine. On the right side, a smaller room lies, traditionally associated with the actual room where the Virgin Mary is believed to have slept. Marian tradition holds that some form of running water used to flow like a canal in the smaller room where the Virgin Mary slept and rested, leading to the present drinking fountain outside the building structure. Outside the shrine is a particular wishing wall which pilgrims have used by tying their personal intentions on paper or fabric. Various types of florals and fruits are grown nearby, and additional lighting has been installed within the vicinity of the shrine for further monitoring of the site. A water fountain or well is also located nearby, believed by some pilgrims to have miraculous powers of healing or fertility. The last days of the life of Jesus and details of the life of Mary, his mother. Emmerich was ill for a long period of time in the farming community of Dülmen, but was known in Germany as a mystic and was visited by a number of notable figures. One of Emmerich's accounts was a description of the house the Apostle John had built in Ephesus for Mary, the mother of Jesus, where she had lived to the end of her life, and this is also called as the last house of Mary. And now let's go to the ancient city of Ephesus, which may ultimately derive from Hittite Apasa, was an ancient Greek city on the coast of Ionia, 3 kilometers southwest of present-day Selçuk in Izmir province, Turkey. It was built in the 10th century BC on the site of the former Arzawan capital by Attic and Ionian Greek colonists. During the classical Greek era, it was one of the 12 cities of the Ionian League. The city flourished after it came under the control of the Roman Republic in 129 BC. The city was famed for the nearby Temple of Artemis, completed around 550 BC, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Among many other monumental buildings are the Library of Celsus and a theater capable of holding 25,000 spectators. Ephesus was one of the 7 churches of Asia that are cited in the Book of Revelation. The Gospel of John may have been written here. The city was the site of several 5th century Christian councils. The city was destroyed by the Goths in 263, and although rebuilt, the city's importance as a commercial center declined as the harbor was slowly silted up by the Menderes River. It was partially destroyed by an earthquake in 614 AD. The ruins of Ephesus are a favorite international and local tourist attraction, partly owing to their easy access from Adnan Menderes Airport or from the cruise ship port of Kusadasi, some 30 kilometers to the south. Ephesus was an important center for early Christianity from the 50s AD. From 52 to 54 AD, the Apostle Paul lived in Ephesus, working with a congregation and apparently organizing missionary activity into the hinterlands. The Library of Celsus, the facade of which has been carefully reconstructed from original pieces was originally built in 125 AD in memory of Tiberius Julius Celsus Polemianus, an ancient Greek who served as governor of Roman Asia in 105 to 107 in the Roman Empire. Jesus paid for the construction of the library with his own personal wealth and is buried in a sarcophagus beneath it. The library was mostly built by his son Gaius Julius Aquila and once held nearly 12,000 scrolls. Designed with an exaggerated entrance so as to enhance its perceived size, speculate many historians, the building faces east so that the reading rooms could make best use of the morning light. The interior of the library measured roughly 180 square meters and may have contained as many as 12,000 scrolls. By the year 400 CE, the library was no longer in use after being damaged in 262 CE. The facade was reconstructed during 1970 to 1978 using fragments found on site or copies of fragments that were previously removed to museums. The Temple of Hadrian is one of the best preserved and most beautiful structures on Corates Street. It was built before 138 AD by P. Quintilius and was dedicated to the Emperor Hadrian, who came to visit the city from Athens in 128 AD. Emperor Hadrian was one of the 5 of good emperors. Hadrian was active in the wars against the Dacians and reputedly won awards from Trajan for his successes. Due to an absence of military action in his reign, Hadrian's military skill is not well attested. However, his keen interest and knowledge of the army and his demonstrated skill of administration show possible strategic talent. Beside the Hadrian Temple above the door, a human figure, probably Medusa, stands with ornaments of acanthus leaves. On both sides there are friezes depicting the story of the foundation of Ephesus, Androclos shooting a boar, Dionysus in ceremonial procession, and the Amazons. Hadrian died in 138 on the 10th day of July at the age of 62. However, the man who had spent so much of his life traveling had not yet reached his journey's end. The latrines were the public toilets of the Ephesus city, and entrance fees were necessary to use them. Actually, they were a part of scholastic baths, and they were situated next to the Temple of Hadrian. The toilets were constructed along the wall like marble benches, surrounding a pool with a wooden ceiling. The Hadrian's Gate is located at the junction of the Curata Street and the Marble Road. Going back to the Celsus Library, the facade of the library has 2 stories, with Corinthian-style columns on the ground floor and 3 entrances to the building. There is 3 windows openings in the upper story. They used an optical trick that the columns at the sides of the facade are shorter than those at the center, giving the illusion of the building being greater in size. There was an auditorium, which was for lectures or presentations. Between the library and the Ephesus Marble Road was built during the reign of the Emperor Hadrian. The library was restored with the aid of the Austrian Archaeological Institute, and the originals of the statues were taken to Ephesus Museum in Vienna in 1910. The famed ancient city of Ephesus in Turkey's picturesque Aegean region attracts some 2.5 million tourists and history buffs every year. Ephesus was added to UNESCO's prestigious World Heritage List in 2015. This agora would have been used as a public area and a meeting place for governmental discussions. The agora on the southern part was built in the Roman period in the 1st century BC. Kusadasi Street is one of the 3 main streets of Ephesus between the Hercules Gate till to the Celsus Library. This street took its name from the priests who were called as Kusadasi later. Lastly, without seeing Turkish carpets is the same as visiting Barcelona without seeing Gaudi's masterpieces.